Hello, everyone, and welcome to another elite episode of the Get Authentic with Marcus show. My name is Marques Ogden. On today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, Mr. Marcus Phillips. And you know what? Let's bring him on down. How you doing today, Marcus?
Doing well, Marcus. How are you?
I'm doing good, my friend. First question, sir. What does the word authentic slash authenticity mean to you?
Love that question. To me, authenticity isn't about like grand gestures or polished performance. It's about consistency and internal integrity. I know, you and I have talked offline about this before, but it's really this commitment to match your genuine day-to-day internal state. And match that up to how you show up outwardly. And a lot of us get caught up in this trap of constantly performing, right? Like we
Ah,
show up, we put on this act, and you're not going to get an Oscar for that. But it's this version of themselves that they think they need to show up as to fit in. But to me, authenticity means you retire that. You retire that performance. Your actions, your choices, and your presence truly reflects your true values.
Marcus, I'm going to really talk about something I've never talked about, but I saw it on a documentary, Eddie Murphy's
Mhm.
documentary, which was fantastic. Eddie Murphy talked about how he got an invite to the Oscars. He was brought to speak on something on stage, and he said something that he felt was his authentic truth about minorities in the role of movies and the Oscars and the whole 9 yards. He was just being very authentic, very real. And the next day, nothing came out about what he said. No one mentioned it. It was swept under the rug. And if you've ever noticed, Eddie Murphy has not won an Oscar for anything he's done. And he said that it wasn't about being polished or being the performance that he felt that he needed to be in that moment. He said, I'm going to tell something from my truth, my perspective that I feel is going to be a great way of trying to help bring more awareness to something that needs more awareness. So, again, you saying it's not about polished performance. We've had close to probably 800 episodes published. Not one time has someone said that until today, but it fits fantastically because, again, right, Marcus, if you're trying to have this polished, perfect performance, that's not
Mhm.
being authentic. I
It's
love that. What are your
it's
thoughts?
I completely agree. I'll be honest and very transparent. There was a point in my career where I did that, right? I was trying to be polished, trying to be somebody that I really wasn't. I came across as very inauthentic for me, and it didn't work for me, right? It didn't breed success. So once I shed that and I decided, you know what, I'm going to be me. I have to show up as me. It's all I can be, right? Everything else is an act, and it's me trying really hard. The moment I made that decision, Marcus, everything changed, right? Things just fell into place. I became more trustworthy because people can see through that stuff sometimes, right? And when you're putting on that performance, they can see through it. But when you show up as your true, authentic self, um, especially as a leader position I was in, you gain trust, you gain followership, and it means that your internal normal is what the world sees, and people can connect to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, huh, people can see through your performance. I hope you got that from that last segment. People can see through you trying to be something and or someone that they know you're not. So don't even try. Don't even bother. Just be who you are because who you are is way more than enough. Marcus, please tell us a little bit more about your backstory, your career, and then the work you're doing today. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be authentic. Marcus is my coaching client. I have the honor of coaching Marcus every week. And what happened is Marcus's mother, Maxine Phillips, was the first person to ever believe in me when I didn't even believe in myself. when I started speaking in 2013. Maxine was such a positive, inspirational light in so much darkness I was going through, isolation, deprivation. And I tell Marcus all the time, it's so awesome I'm getting to coach him now because his mom is a big reason why our speaking career continued to go when we felt like giving up and what we do today. So again, that's part of his story, but that's part of my backstory to how we're at today. Marcus's mom, Maxine, was a huge advocate and a cheerleader for us. So it's great to be able to coach him now and watch him do the great things that he's doing in his career. Anyway, Marcus, I didn't want to steal your thunder, but I want to kind of make sure our global
No,
audience knew that part of the story.
no, I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, my mom has always been one of my biggest cheerleaders, right? She's number one. Um, of course, my wife. I have to make sure I shout out to my wife as well. But just gonna tell you a little bit about my backstory. So my journey in my career started in finance, right? So I was counting beans, counting all the numbers, P&L and balance sheet work. Then found myself into a little bit of project management and operations, and then ultimately landed into what has become, my home base, which is marketing. So marketing and strategy. Um, Last role, I spent 18 years at my last company, where I was the segment chief marketing officer for a multi-billion dollar global organization. So we drove, market strategy across the world, customer experience, all the things, man. So I've done everything from top to bottom there. Um, when on paper, man, I really felt like I was at the top, like I had made it, right? Like once you
Mhm.
get to that CMO type title, anything that feels like a C-suite title, like you've done it. But inside, I hit a wall of burnout, and there was this moment of reflection where I'm like, wait a minute, is this it? Is this what I worked for? Is this what I went to graduate school for and climbed the corporate ladder for? So I realized that the comfort of that high level role was quietly costing me my health and my joy. And so I was really unfulfilled. So a lot of professionals kind of experience that. You don't know what to do about it, but the pressure to perform in that environment became heavy, man. Like it was weighing on me. I had headaches all the time. You know how it is. You're present physically, but you may not be present mentally. So that wasn't the greatest thing for my family and my sons. But the true catalyst happened in a meeting, when I met with my boss. My role was eliminated, and instead of accepting that next comfortable role, that safe role that was offered to me, my subconscious made a decision that, you know, that shocked me, that my mind hadn't even made yet, right? And I was afraid to make on my own. But when he offered it, I'm like, no, you know what? It's time to walk away. And so I launched this massive intentional risk into a void and not knowing what's going to be next. But that space ultimately led me to codify this framework that really has saved me, man. So it's in my upcoming book, The Zone Shift, which, I'm not really ready to go into too much detail on that yet, but that's the work I've been doing in my transition. And, that leap directly led to another outcome, which is starting a AI consultancy business with a co-founder and friend of mine, Harvey Jenkins, to apply these systems and these frameworks commercially. So, man, look, the old identity had to dissolve so a new one could be formed, and this journey has been amazing.
You know, this is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I heard so much courage, so much inspiration, so much overcoming your fears, overcoming adversity, hardship in that segment. Like you heard Marcus say, he had been in a spot, a corporate job for 18 years. Things were going well. But you heard Marcus say there was more that he wanted. It wasn't giving him the fulfilling part of his life. It wasn't giving him the joy, the serenity, the fulfillment that he really was looking for. So, what did he do? He made the exit, he made the jump, he faced his fears. And I love Zone Shift as a title. We're not going to talk about the book, but we are going to talk about pivoting, right? Just in general, right, Marcus? I
Right.
tell people, right? In uncertainty, there's always opportunity, right? So you left, you now have a book you're working on. Check. You started a consulting business with a partner. Check. You started to do some speaking. You're getting a lot of people in the pipeline for clients and leads. And I'm coaching. I'm seeing you really grow substantially before my eyes. It's amazing, right, Marcus? Please talk to our global audience how important it is in life to be ready to pivot when times call for it.
Oh man, where do I start? When you really take a look at the course of your life and this journey that we're all on, you can, if you look back, you're in a constant state of pivoting, right? You're always finding the next best thing, the next thing, challenging yourself. We all face obstacles, but for me, when I look back on it, when you have time to kind of step away from the day-to-day grind, whether it's during a vacation or through a transition, you get to reflect and understand, like, man, what is next for me, or what should I do? And this pivot for me was so critical. Yeah, I could have, like I said before, I could have easily taken that role that was offered to me, but that felt like the safe bet. That was only going to give me more of what I really didn't want. Now, make no mistake about it, right? I was comfortable, right? Good, paycheck, and I'm traveling all over the world. But when you feel empty inside, man, there's something else out there for you. So that for me was pivoting to seek what is that? Now, I'm not going to advocate for people to just leave their job, right? That's bad advice.
We don't do that.
um,
We don't do that. Right.
don't do that. But if you can set yourself up to try something new, if you have something inside of you that's been burning and you've been yearning to take a leap to do something else, you can take small steps. You don't have to take the leap that I took, right? You take small steps to engage into something different. And best decision I've ever made, right? And it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, but it was by far the best decision. And I'd do it all over again. And I'm now coaching and helping others individually and organizations find their pivot.
You know, Marcus, this is great. And I want to really get into the work you love to do with people around marketing, operations, cleanup, and helping companies to be in best position to operate at optimal levels. We were chatting today about one of your potential clients through what she's chatting with you about needing some help. And I think that's great, right? You don't have to get to specifics about her, but get into some specifics about how you help people, right, Marcus, with you and your partner around improving marketing strategies, improving business efficiency, improving client, experience, customer experience, better customer satisfaction, things of these natures that people a lot of times don't even really think about a lot because if you're in a business a lot of times, especially as a small to medium-sized entrepreneur, even to like a medium-sized entrepreneur in that regard, it becomes a lot of things you don't even think about on optimization of marketing or optimization of your operational efficiencies and or procedures or just making sure, right, Marcus, that people know about you or where you're at, how they can find you, how they can access you. Please shed some more light, right, Marcus, on the type of work you do for your clients when it comes to your consulting business.
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with high performing leaders and organizations. So we're looking at small and medium sized businesses. That's been our focus to really help them stop settling for comfortable stagnation and start driving intentional high leverage growth. The way we do that, I talked about the framework that I built. So I teach practical systems for sustainable growth based on three things. Like you have to launch intentional actions. So some calculated risks to break through things that you've been comfortable doing for so long. Two, you want to ensure you're integrating lessons from those actions, so they become permanent new capabilities. And then three, using those capabilities to expand your influence on your team and your market. Specifically for the business that we were just talking about, um, there's so much opportunity in every business where legacy systems may be failing you. From a marketing perspective, you're looking at social media where maybe your social media strategy isn't hitting on all cylinders. There's reputation management challenges you may not be paying attention to or you may be missing. So, the consultancy side of the business really is saying, look, let's apply all these principles commercially, and we help them identify where the low-hanging fruit is first, right? That's where you can get quick action, and you get some really quick business results and make impact. So we build out bespoke AI systems. So we're looking at custom artificial intelligence systems that can help you pretty immediately. Got to kind of get rid of all of the mundane manual tasks that most people don't really want to do anyway. We want to automate that, help you automate those things. And that gives you some really quick wins on bottom line impact. So your operational efficiency improves, your costs can go down. And then we'll find ways to increase your top line as well. So it helps you improve your revenue. And so, you know, even though I'm a marketer at trade and at heart, marketing has taught me that it's more than just getting your message out there. That is important. Make no mistake about it. But if your business systems in your operations are not fine-tuned and running well, it doesn't matter how much marketing you do. You're throwing money out the window. You're going to burn that money. So I'm also looking at, because I have that finance background and I've worked in operations, I can look holistically at your business to see what's working well and what's not working well. And so with this client that we have, we looked at the whole thing, and so she was pretty blown away by the opportunities that she had overlooked. And so that's really our approach. We have a website is engageais.com. AIS is artificial intelligence systems.
Mhm.
And then for my framework, that can be found at thezonshift.com.
Before we get into, again, with your book, I don't want you to get into specific, but get into like why you wrote the book. But that's next segment. To give you a heads up. Now, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I love these conversations. AI, it is a tool that was created by human beings to help you be more efficient, streamline things, get rid of the mundane BS tasks that take up your time and they do not help you make more money. They are the low revenue generating activities. This is where AI create tools that like Marcus and his company and other people can say, this is what AI was designed to do. Please shed some more light, Marcus, on how people can use AI to help them be more efficient, streamline their business better, and to get rid of those mundane tasks that suck up their clock and their calendar and just make the day longer and longer.
Absolutely. AI is a technology enabler, right? It's supposed to help us, to your point. It's supposed to help us be more efficient. It's not literally supposed to eliminate jobs. So I go into these conversations with clients when we talk about implementing AI systems, and I show them the operational improvements, maybe the FTE equivalent hours that they're going to be able to get back. But I encourage them that this is not a green light for you to shed staff, right? This should not be a reduction in force type of opportunity. Reduce those mundane tasks, and I'll give you an example here in a minute. But how about we take the human capital and we redeploy them to other areas where it's high value activity, right? Let's train them differently. Let's put them on revenue generating activities, or let's just train them into a different area where we need more support. But one of the examples I wanted to give you is a client that we're working with now is email, for example. Now, I'm not talking about using AI to help you write emails. That's one of the quickest and easiest things you can do. I'm talking about email automation. So if you're a customer, you have a customer service arm of your business, all the emails that come in, and our client had hundreds of thousands of emails that come in. Many of those are those can be automated, right? You can build a system, an agentic system that goes through your knowledge base. It can pull all the information that you need and answer those questions pretty easily, right? Where you don't need a human to do it. You can go through all the emails that your organization has ever sent on those type of topics. You can train your agent on those, where it automatically asks, answers those questions, or attach it to your ERP system to look up order information. All those things can be automated. And then you test it, and now you're eliminating probably 65% of the manual labor that you would have typically paid a human to do. When I'm not saying eliminate those roles, now I'm saying you've got freed up bandwidth for that human capital that you now need to redeploy to other areas. So we tell our clients, here's the opportunity, here's the solution. But what we don't want you to do is get rid of the team. Now we're also giving you a plan to say, another way you can use that team. Another one would be, if we're looking at still in the customer service arm, we've got chatbots. You've got, you can be available now 24/7 to answer customers' questions. I think all these things are really low hanging fruit, and there's so many other use cases, but the business improvement, the business operations improvement that's available to every company is limitless. Now, you don't want to get to the point where you're just blindly applying AI and integrating AI. You have to be careful with your data, right? You can build some of these systems to just be done internally, where it's not going external to the internet. It can just be your internal resource. But there's a lot of ways around, or not around, security. I would say it's a lot of ways to keep that confined within your own organizational environment. But yeah, we give them all those solutions and options. And for the small and medium sized businesses, they're finding that they haven't touched this stuff because they don't have time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we present these ideas, it's pretty quick, and the ROI is outstanding. Where you're looking at 100% plus ROI to 1,000% plus ROI. It becomes no brainers.
You know what, Marcus? This is fantastic, man. And again, I took note of something. I've got a great, authentic tip. But again, just what is one thing? Just take 30 seconds. What's one thing that you plan to have the readers that read your book when it does come out to walk away with to help them in their everyday life? Just one thing, 30 seconds or less.
One thing I would want my readers to take away from the book is, when you feel like you're in this place of comfort, that's when you know it's time for you to do something different. You have to push yourself. So the book for me is telling people that it's okay. It's giving yourself permission to say it's okay for me to be comfortable for a period of time, but you need to always be progressing and growing. So push yourself out of your comfort zone into a place of discomfort. Stay in that stretch long enough, and you're going to develop some new skills, some new knowledge. You're gonna discover maybe a new path for yourself, right? And that, for me, that's I've lived that, and so I've created a framework for it to kind of help the individual and organizations through that. So this isn't just about the single person. This is also, or let me say it this way: it's not just about an individual. It's also organizational. Companies get stuck in innovation stagnation sometimes. Like we've done this for years. It works. Why would we change it? Oh, no, no, you need to change it because disruption is going to happen. Either you be the disruptor or someone will disrupt
Gonna come
your
and
business.
disrupt you. That's right. Amen. Marcus, phenomenal interview. Where can people get in touch with you to find out more about your AI consulting business?
All right. Again, for the AI consulting business, you can reach us at engageais.com.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, reach out to Marcus, engageais.com. Reach out to them, have a conversation. It's all about getting information. Again, AI is a tool that was designed to help us to streamline our business. It was not designed to just have us get rid of our staff and all this type of stuff. And we're not Skynet from Terminator 2. We're trying to actually build something sustainable. So again, fantastic, fantastic interview. And the authentic tip in this great interview: in life, when you feel you're comfortable and you feel everything is like nice and smooth and easy, look at potentially doing something new. For me, I remember, right, Marcus, coaching kids in football. It was always comfortable, it was always easy. And I made the shift to go into speaking, coaching, consulting, then made the shift to go into podcasting, and then all these things. Every time I pushed myself out of the comfort zone, I always developed a sense of how strong I truly am. And that's the same thing for you that have listened to this amazing interview. Again, my name is Marques Ogden. I am the host of the Get Authentic with Marcus show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic day.
Recording stopped.
Told you how easy it was going to be.